Good morning, everyone. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to replace a sprinkler valve that's leaking. It's a really simple task. Anyone can do it. And again, I'm going to guide you through this step by step and show you what supplies you need, as well as, again, the steps needed to replace the valve and stop this leaking that's taking place right now. Okay, before I get started, I want to show you the supplies that you're going to need. Of course, you're going to need a new sprinkler valve. My sprinkler valves are 3/4 inch. Most residential valves will be either 3/4 inch or 1 inch, so you'll want to make sure you buy the right valve. Then we have our primer, we have our cement, we have the pipe cutter, Teflon tape, we have two couplings, and then we have the coupling with the threads on top that'll eventually screw in to the bottom of your valve. Like I mentioned, you'll need to know what size valve you have. You also want to get some 3/4 inch or 1 inch PVC pipe. The first step is going to be turning off the water supply. I have a shut-off valve right here. Um, if you're not aware whether or not you have a shut-off valve close to your sprinklers, you can always shut the water off typically by the hose bib, and that'll stop the water from flowing. This is the valve, just in case you're not aware what it looks like. All you do, of course, is just turn it clockwise and it'll cut off the water supply. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the setup here. On your valve, you'll see a section that indicates flow with an arrow. Mine is the water's flowing that way. And what that means is this is the main water supply, if you will. This line here, water, is it's under constant water pressure. And then the water stops here, stops flowing because the valve is turned off. When the valve is turned on, then the water will flow down to all of your sprinklers. So that's why this side will typically leak, again, because it's under constant water pressure. Um, and I just wanted you to be aware of how the valve works, the direction of the valve. So again, you'll want to look for the way that the arrow is pointing in terms of the water flow. You'll want to match that when you replace the valve. Also, earlier on in the video, I talked about either a 3/4 inch valve or a 1 inch valve, and it'll say on top of your valve whether you won't be able to read it, but it'll read it in the video. But it'll say 3/4 inch valve or it'll say 1 inch valve, and of course, you just buy the same thing. Okay, before we get into actually cutting the pipes, removing the old setup, as I mentioned, it's under constant water pressure. You see it's been leaking. There is calcification on this pipe. So I'm going to get a little bit of sandpaper, lightly clean the area that I'm going to be gluing a brand new coupling, just like this setup here. So I want to remove some of the calcification. Again, you don't want to sand it super hard. You don't. You just basically want to remove the calcification and get it smooth before we glue on our new coupling. Okay, we're gonna get ready to cut the pipe. Just to help you out in the event you've never done this before and to eliminate um, additional measurements in the future and the fact that maybe something might be uneven, I just wanted to offer and suggest a way to make sure that your cut is level on the bottom. You could use a level here. Of course, once the bubble is perfectly level, just mark it underneath. That's where you'll cut it. And again, it'll kind of help you out where you're not having to worry too much about whether or not the two pipes that you're going to eventually cut, whether or not they're uneven and cause any problems when it's time to install the valve. All right, now it's time to cut the pipe. Obviously, line the blade up with the black marker that you just made. There you have it. One thing I wanted to add really quickly is if by chance on your sprinkler control you ever get a message that says check the wiring to your sprinkler valve, and you know that the wiring is secure, chances are you may have just a bad solenoid. And in order to replace the solenoid, it's super simple. Take this off. Is just unscrew it. So if you ever, again, get that message and you want to avoid the trouble of replacing the whole valve because of the fact that it's some sort of electrical issue with the solenoid, that's how you you replace the solenoid. Unscrew it, and then obviously just rewire it according to how it's currently wired. Okay, just a little tip. You might want to leave your valve positioned the way that it was originally installed. So just in case if you forget the flow and the direction of the flow and all of that, you have it still there. Next is we're going to start basically building what you see here. We have our coupling. We're going to, it's about maybe about 1 inch. So it's going to go down about 1 inch once we glue. And then you're going to want to measure however high you want your valve to sit. I want mine to basically be consistent with what you see here. So I don't know, maybe 13 inches. I'm going to cut my PVC pipe, two pieces around 13 inches in length. Okay, I wanted to share something about the coupling. There's a little groove, or rather a ridge, in the middle of it, and you may have heard me say it's going to go down about 1 inch. Just to ensure that you've pushed this coupling down far enough, what I do, or what you could do, is you can mark where the bottom of the coupling should ultimately be once you, after you put your glue in, you push it down, because you don't want to run the risk of not pushing it down far enough. You want to, again, you want a marker to indicate that it is in fact down as far as it should be. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate to you how to use the primer, how to use the cement. I'm going to do one section at a time. It's a little bit easier that way, especially if you're not familiar with working with the cement. So I'm going to begin by just putting some primer on the inside of the coupling, put it on the outside, cement, thin coat, and then twist and push. You'll see there you have a nice bead all the way around. Looking inside, I could see that my PVC pipe, it's to the middle of the coupling. Along that, there's a little inner ridge I referenced earlier. I'm going to let this dry for maybe about 5 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and attach it to these two pieces here. Okay, this has had time to dry. We're going to attach it. If you remember, I put a little black mark on there, so this way you'll know how far down this should be. So this way you know that you have a good seal inside. Going to follow the same process. You may notice there's already some primer there because I kind of jumped ahead when I was filming earlier. So we're just going to put another coat of fresh primer. Same thing here. Same process. Thin coat on the inside. Thin coat on the outside. And then push and turn. And you can see it went all the way down. And I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. Okay, while we wait for those pieces to dry, I figured I'd demonstrate to you how to apply the Teflon tape. If you're viewing the coupling like this, you'll want to apply the Teflon tape counterclockwise. And I usually will do about 2 to maybe 3 rotations around the threads, pull tight. The reason why you want to do it counterclockwise is because as you insert this and as you tighten it, you don't want to go against the actual application of the Teflon tape. Okay, before we screw this in, I want to share this tip with you because I think this is probably one of the most important things to remember and do to prevent this from leaking. If you remember earlier, I mentioned that water is going to come into the valve this way and flow out that way. So this side will always have constant water pressure. So when you screw this in, this particular side here, me personally, based off of my experience, I do this side very, very tight because if it's going to leak, it's going to leak right here. And once this is cemented onto that pipe, there's going to be no way of tightening this any further to stop any potential water leak. So you want this to be very, very tight. I use channel locks. I really, really tighten it down. Obviously, you don't want to break anything, but you do want to make sure that this side is tighter than what you could probably do just with your hand. Okay, this is the last step. We're going to be attaching the valve. Again, triple check the flow of your water. For mine, the arrow is indicating that the flow is going to go that way. So of course I want to attach the valve just like this. Similar to earlier, just to help you to ensure that you've pushed this down far enough, you'll want to maybe mark it, place a mark here. So this way you'll know that your coupling needs to go down at least that far. I'm going to have to work fast here. I'm going to apply primer, just like last time. And then push it down. Clean up a little of that. That's it. You can see that you can't see the black mark anymore. That means I've pushed it down far enough. And next we'll just rewire it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and rewire it. Really simple. It does not matter which wire goes to which wire down here. You could pick either one. But obviously you'll take one and reconnect it to the colored wire that your old valve was attached to. Probably can't see too well, but I just use a wire nut. And then the remaining wire, you'll just reattach that to this main wire nut that has all your other wires and the actual hot wire. And that'll do it. What I'll do is I'm actually going to let this dry overnight. I don't need to turn my water on right now. So I'll let it dry overnight, turn the water on, test for leaks, uh, test my sprinkler panel to make sure that obviously I'm getting power to this valve and everything should be good. So I hope this helps. You can see it's super easy. It's simple. Anyone can do it. And again, I hope you find this helpful and help save you some money. Take care.